Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. Today, we're looking at something I think we all grapple with challenges, but maybe shifting how we see them.
Yes, exactly. Not as just, obstacles or dead ends, but perhaps something more. Fertile ground, even.
Fertile ground, I like that, because when you're in it, it rarely feels fertile, does it? It feels like, well, just pain or frustration.
It often does, initially.
Yeah.
But the invitation is to look a bit closer, perhaps underneath the immediate feeling.
Right, like those times when something goes wrong, a project fails, or there's friction in a relationship, it feels purely negative.
Mm-hmm.
But you're suggesting that woven into that, maybe hidden, are threads of what? Future strength, insight?
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Think of a seed. It sits in the dark, under pressure, doesn't it? Seems like nothing, maybe even just an annoyance in the soil.
Okay.
Yet inside that tiny seed is the entire blueprint for, well, maybe a huge tree.
Yeah.
That potential is held within the darkness, within the pressure.
So the potential isn't just despite the difficulty, but somehow because of it.
That's a key idea. The very conditions that seem adverse can be the necessary ingredients for growth.
And this connects to broader ideas, right? Like karma, the law of cause and effect.
It does. Every action, every experience creates ripples, consequences. A challenge isn't just a random event. It arises from causes, and how we respond becomes a cause for what comes next.
So within the challenge itself lies a sort of potential energy, waiting for how we engage with it.
Precisely. The challenge contains possibilities. Our choice lies in how or if we choose to cultivate them.
It makes me think about the story of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. His journey wasn't easy.
Far from it. He gave up a life of immense privilege.
Right, faced extreme ascetic practices, wrestled with doubts, fears, profound struggles.
Deep internal battles.
And yet, it was through that suffering, wasn't it, that his wisdom emerged. The Four Noble Truths came directly out of grappling with difficulty.
His suffering became his teacher. It wasn't just something to get past, it was the very path to understanding.
That's a powerful reframe. Can we actually learn to see our own difficulties like that as teachers?
It's a worthy aspiration, I think. A difficult one sometimes.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? Like that recent problem I had at work, or that argument. My first reaction was just, get rid of this.
That's the natural human tendency.
Yeah.
Aversion. Push away the unpleasant.
But looking back now, maybe there was a tiny seed of something else there, an opportunity I missed because I was just focused on the burden.
It often takes that pause, that reflection, doesn't it? To move beyond the initial emotional reaction and ask, what else might be happening here? How is this shaping me?
And this idea of everything being connected, it suggests a problem isn't just my problem in isolation.
Exactly. It's part of a larger web. Circumstances, our history, our reactions, the people around us, it's all interwoven.
So instead of fighting it like it's this separate enemy,
We might ask how it fits into the larger picture of our life. How is it informing the whole story? Acknowledging that interconnectedness shifts us from feeling like a victim to, well, an active participant in this web.
that reminds me of that Japanese art form, kintsugi.
Ah, yes. Repairing broken pottery with gold.
Right. They don't hide the cracks. They actually highlight them, make them beautiful. The breaking and repairing makes the piece more valuable, more unique.
A wonderful metaphor. It suggests our cracks, our histories of being broken and mended, aren't flaws to be ashamed of. They add depth, character, resilience. They tell our story.
Could our own problems, our own moments of being broken, serve that same purpose, making us stronger, maybe even more beautiful in a way?
I believe they can. The repairs, the lessons learned, the strengths gained, they become part of who we are.
But okay, this golden repair, it doesn't just happen automatically, right? Like the seed needs water and sun.
Exactly. Transformation requires conscious effort. We need to engage with the challenge, nurture the potential within it. It's not passive.
And that's where maybe modern psychology comes in too, this idea of resilience.
Resilience isn't something you're just born with or not. It's understood now as a skill, something we can actively cultivate.
And a big part of that is reframing, choosing to see the problem differently, not as a dead end, but maybe a detour or even a stepping stone.
Precisely. That conscious shift in perspective in the story we tell ourselves about the challenge can fundamentally change our emotional response and our ability to cope and grow. It's incredibly powerful.
So how do we start doing that? When we're in the thick of it, how do we begin to reframe? What questions can help?
One very direct question is, what can I learn from this?
Okay, simple but potent.
It immediately shifts the focus from victimhood to active learning. What knowledge is here for me? What skill is being honed? perhaps patience.
Or perseverance. Or maybe learning to ask for help.
All possibilities. It could be discovering an inner strength you didn't know you possessed.
All right, what's another question?
How can this experience shape me into a better version of myself?
Ooh, that's looking further ahead.
Yes. It asks us about evolution. How might navigating this difficulty refine my character? Make me more compassionate, perhaps, wiser, stronger.
Will I understand others better who go through something similar? Will it make me a better leader or friend or parent?
Exactly. Considering the transformative potential for your own being.
And you mentioned one more about opportunities.
Yes. What opportunities, however hidden, might this problem create?
That feels like the hardest one sometimes, to see opportunity in difficulty.
It can be. It requires looking beyond the immediate pain or inconvenience. But sometimes disruptions clear away old paths and force us to find new ones.
Like maybe losing a job, which feels terrible.
Could eventually lead to discovering a career path that's much more aligned with your passions, something you would never have considered otherwise.
Or a health scare might prompt a complete overhaul of lifestyle, leading to greater well-being in the long run.
Precisely. The problem itself can become the catalyst for positive change, opening doors that were previously invisible or seemed locked.
I heard a story once about an entrepreneur, Sarah, I think. She had really debilitating anxiety. For years, it just felt like this huge wall. But as she worked to understand it, to manage it, she found techniques, insights, and she realized other people needed this too.
So the struggle itself contained the seeds of a solution for others.
Exactly. She ended up creating this whole wellness brand based on her experience. Her supposed weakness became her greatest strength, her purpose.
A beautiful example of turning adversity into an ally. That deep personal understanding born from struggle became a source of value and contribution.
It really makes you think. And underlying all this is, well, the fact that nothing lasts forever, right?
The principle of impermanence.
Yeah. That feeling of joy yesterday, it shifted. The sadness today, that will shift too. Even the biggest challenges we're facing right now, they aren't permanent fixtures.
Recognizing this transient nature helps, I find. It allows us to hold our difficulties a bit more lightly. They're real, yes, but they're also passing states. We are not permanently defined by them.
So maybe we can try to see ourselves as gardeners, like you said earlier.
It's a useful image, I think.
Each problem, big or small, is like a seed. Some look ugly, some prickly.
Unwelcome, perhaps.
But inside each one, there's this potential. And the storms we go through today, maybe they're just the rain needed for something amazing to blossom later.
It encourages a shift from dread to, perhaps, a curious anticipation. What might unfold from this? What could this become?
Okay, so we've talked about seeing the potential, and the next part, maybe we can get more practical. Like, how do we actually cultivate that potential?
Yes, moving from understanding the possibility to actively engaging with it, exploring strategies, drawing on both ancient wisdom and modern insights.
Sounds good. Where do we start with that?
Well, a foundational concept is the Buddhist understanding of dukkha.
Which is often translated as suffering, but it's broader, isn't it?
It is. It encompasses the fundamental unsatisfactoriness, the friction, the sense that things are often subtly out of kilter in human experience. It's not pessimism, though.
Right. It's not about wallowing.
No, it's more realistic acknowledgement. Recognizing this inherent imperfection is actually the starting point for seeking liberation, for finding deeper meaning beyond the surface level unsatisfactoriness.
Okay. So acknowledging the reality of difficulty is step one.
It is. Think about climbing a mountain.
Okay.
It's hard work, right? Your muscles ache, you're out of breath, maybe it's cold or scary.
Definitely.
You could focus only on that struggle. Or you could recognize that the very effort, the strain, is what's building your strength, your endurance. The struggle is inseparable from reaching the summit.
Without the climb, the view wouldn't mean as much. The struggle gives the achievement its value.
Exactly. The hardship shapes you, prepares you for the peak.
And this links back to that idea of cognitive reframing we touched on.
It does, very strongly. Psychology talks about how changing our interpretation of an event changes our emotional and mental response.
So that job, that feels like a dead end.
Instead of just feeling trapped, you might reframe it. This is an opportunity to build specific skills, or this is helping me clarify what I really want next. The situation hasn't changed, but your internal experience of it has.
You find agency again, you rewrite the story.
You do. But how do we actually do that consistently, especially when we're feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
One very powerful tool is mindfulness meditation. Not necessarily sitting formally for hours, but applying mindful awareness in the moment.
How does that work with a problem?
You pause.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the emotion arising, anger, fear, whatever it is. Just notice it without judging it or needing it to go away immediately.
Just acknowledge it.
Then you look at the story you're telling yourself about the situation. Am I the helpless victim here? Is this the end of the world? Or are there other ways to see this?
Questioning the narrative.
Yes. And then consciously choosing a different frame.
Okay.
Maybe focusing on learning or resilience, or even just taking the next small step. Even changing, I have to deal with this, to I can navigate this, makes a difference.
That pause creates space, doesn't it, between the trigger and the reaction?
Precisely. Space for conscious choice rather than automatic, habitual reaction.
There's another perspective from Japan, wabi-sabi.
Ah, yes. A beautiful aesthetic and philosophy. It finds beauty in imperfection, in impermanence, in simplicity.
So how does that apply to our messy problems?
It invites us to accept our flaws, our mistakes, or broken parts, not as things to hide, but as authentic parts of our journey. There's a certain beauty in the worn, the weathered, the incomplete.
Like Thomas Edison and the light bulb, all those failures.
Exactly. He didn't see them as failures. He saw them as discovering thousands of ways that didn't work. That's a kind of wabi-sabi mindset, valuing the process, the learning, the imperfections along the way.
Embracing the not quite right as part of the path?
Yes. And this connects to the idea of non-attachment.
Which doesn't mean not caring, right?
Not at all. It means letting go of rigid expectations about how things must be. Accepting reality as it is, fluid and changing. When we loosen that tight grip of should, we create space.
Space for what?
Space to experiment, to adapt, to learn. Less resistance to the way things actually are means more energy available for skillful response.
So practically, how do we bring wabi-sabi into facing challenges?
Well, one way is celebrating progress, however small, instead of only aiming for some. Indeed. And think of someone like J.K. Rowling.
Right, the Harry Potter author. She faced real hardship before her success.
Single motherhood, poverty, depression, countless rejections from publishers. Immense challenges.
But she often says those experiences deeply informed her writing or her understanding of resilience, of good and evil.
Her adversity wasn't just something she overcame. It became a source, a wellspring for her creativity and insight that resonated with millions.
Wow. And then there's Viktor Frankl,
A psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps.
his book, Man's Search for Meaning. It's devastating, but also incredibly profound.
He observed that even in the most horrific circumstances, those who could find some sense of purpose, some reason to keep going, often had a better chance of survival, mentally and spiritually.
Finding meaning even in extreme suffering.
It highlights that extraordinary human capacity. It shows that the power of our inner response, our search for meaning, can be transformative even when external circumstances are terrible.
So, these stories, the Lotus, Rowling, Frankl, they all point to this potential hidden within challenges.
Yes, but crucially, it requires conscious effort. It requires tending, nurturing that potential seed. It doesn't just happen.
Okay, so let's talk about that nurturing. What are some tangible things people can do? You mentioned mindful journaling.
Yes, it's a simple but effective practice.
Yeah.
Take a current challenge, write about it freely first, just get the feelings out.
Okay.
Then maybe try to identify 3 things you might be learning or could learn from it.
3 lessons.
And then brainstorm 3 concrete actions, however small you could take, related to it. Not necessarily solving it overnight, but engaging with it actively.
So it combines awareness with action, moving from just feeling stuck to taking a small step.
Yeah, exactly. It bridges reflection and proactive engagement.
What else? Visualization.
Visualization meditation can be surprisingly powerful. Spend just a few minutes each day vividly imagining yourself successfully navigating the challenge.
Like really picture it.
Yes. See the steps you're taking, feel the confidence, imagine the positive outcome. It's like a mental rehearsal. It builds belief and can actually prime your mind to spot opportunities and act effectively when they arise.
Training the mind for success.
In a way, yes. And another simple yet profound practice, cultivating gratitude.
Even when things are tough.
Especially then. There's always something, however small, to be grateful for. Your breath, a roof over your head, a moment of quiet, a supportive friend.
How does that help with problems?
It shifts your focus. Problems tend to make us focus on scarcity, on what's wrong. Gratitude deliberately shifts the lens to abundance, to what's right, what we do have. It builds resilience by reminding us of our resources.
Just noting down a few things each day.
It can be that simple, a small act with a potentially big impact on your overall mindset.
Now, all this talk of acceptance and reframing, does it mean we just passively let bad things happen? Like the middle way in Buddhism, doesn't that involve action too?
Absolutely, it's crucial. The middle way isn't passive resignation, it's about finding the balance
Balance between what?
between acceptance and action. Acceptance means acknowledging the reality of the situation without denial or excessive resistance. Okay, this is happening.
Facing facts.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then action means taking wise, skillful steps to address the situation where possible. So if you're facing financial stress, acceptance is acknowledging the reality of the numbers without despair. Action is creating a budget, looking for solutions, seeking help if needed.
So it's not either, it's both and. Accept the reality and act skillfully within it.
That's the essence of the middle way in this context,
Okay.
a balanced, engaged response.
Okay. We've explored seeing potential, ways to nurture it. Now, you mentioned a final layer, the idea that problems are success in disguise. That sounds pretty radical.
It is a profound shift in perspective, yes. It asks us to consider that challenges aren't interruptions to our path, but actually are the path, integral parts of our journey towards, well, whatever success means for us.
How can a problem be success?
To grasp this, it helps to explore the idea of non-separation, or interconnectedness, even more deeply. We tend to see problems as out there, separate from me.
Right, something external happening to me.
But what if they aren't truly separate? What if they are in some way reflections of our own inner landscape? Mirrors showing us where growth is needed.
So the problem is pointing to something within me.
It could be.
Oh.
Think about dependent origination. The teaching that nothing exists in isolation. Everything arises from causes and conditions.
Okay.
So a challenge, say a conflict at work, didn't just appear randomly. It might be connected to underlying patterns, perhaps my fear of speaking up, or unresolved communication issues, or maybe unmet needs for recognition.
So the problem on the surface is linked to deeper roots within the whole system, including myself.
Exactly. Seeing this allows us to address the root causes, not just whack-a-mole with the symptoms. The problem becomes a doorway to deeper self-understanding.
So it's not a punishment, but an opportunity for introspection, for
Right.
uncovering hidden potential.
Precisely. It shifts from adversary to guide. The problem is guiding you towards where learning and growth can happen. It's pointing towards untapped capacities within you.
Nelson Mandela comes to mind again. 27 years in prison. That seems like the ultimate setback.
An unimaginable hardship. It could easily have crushed him, filled him with bitterness.
That it didn't.
No. He used that time for reflection, for study, for strategizing. The prison cell became a crucible. It forged his resolve, his wisdom, his leadership.
So the adversity itself was instrumental in shaping the leader he became.
It appears so. The confinement became a catalyst for immense inner growth and preparation, ultimately benefiting not just him, but the world.
Our challenges might not be on that scale.
Likely not. But the principle holds. The transformative potential is there, dependent on how we choose to respond, how we choose to engage with the difficulty.
It's just so easy to resist, though, to push back against hardship. It's instinctual.
It is. We naturally recoil from pain, but that very resistance, that tightening against the difficulty, often magnifies the suffering.
Like fighting quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink.
A good analogy. It drains your energy and often makes the situation feel worse.
So what's the alternative to resistance? Embracing it. That sounds hard, too.
Perhaps embracing it with courage and curiosity, and cultivating what's known as equanimity.
Equanimity. Inner balance.
Yes, a sense of inner calm, a steadiness that isn't completely thrown off by external ups and downs. Doesn't mean you don't feel things, but you're not totally overwhelmed or reactive. You maintain a stable center.
Like being the eye of the storm.
Or like learning to flow with a river current instead of fighting against it. Fighting the current exhausts you. Flowing with it, adapting, allows you to navigate skillfully, conserving energy. Equanimity helps us find that flow with life's challenges.
And psychology has a term for growth after hardship, too, doesn't it? Post-traumatic growth.
Yes. It's a remarkable finding that many people who go through significant trauma or adversity don't just bounce back, they actually experience positive psychological changes.
Like what?
Increased personal strength, a deeper appreciation for life, improved relationships, a greater sense of purpose. They grow through the trauma.
And what allows that growth?
Often, it involves accepting the reality of what happened, processing the emotions, and actively making meaning out of the experience. finding the lessons, the silver linings, the ways it shaped them for the better.
So acceptance seems really crucial again. How do we practice that when we're hurting or struggling?
Gently. First, acknowledge the feelings. It's okay to be angry, sad, scared. Don't judge the feelings, just let them be there. Trying to suppress them usually backfires.
Okay, allow the feeling.
Second, consciously work on reframing the narrative. Ask, what is this teaching me? Or how can I grow from this? Even if you don't have the answer immediately, just holding the question opens up possibilities. Trust that there is a lesson, even if it's hidden for now.
Shift the story from burden to lesson.
And third, focus on what you can control. Often, the external situation is largely out of our hands. But we always have some degree of control over our response, our attitude, our next small action. Focus your energy there.
Acknowledge feelings, reframe the narrative, focus on response. Okay.
And, there's another layer here. When we navigate our challenges with resilience and courage, it doesn't just benefit us.
How so?
It creates ripples. Our ability to find meaning or strength in difficulty can inspire others facing similar things. Our story can become a source of hope or guidance for someone else.
So our personal struggle, when navigated well, can actually contribute to collective well-being.
I believe so. We're interconnected. Sharing our authentic journeys, including the hard parts and how we grew through them, can be incredibly powerful.
I've seen that. People who went through, say, a major career crisis and then used that experience to create resources or coaching to help others navigate the same thing.
Exactly. What felt like a personal disaster became a calling, a way to serve.
Yeah.
Born directly from the struggle.
Turning their mess into their message.
A beautiful way to put it. And everyone listening, your story has that same potential. Your resilience can light the way for someone else.
Wow. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, maybe we can offer a clear takeaway, a framework.
A simple invitation, perhaps. 3 steps.
Okay, what are they?
Step 1, identify a current challenge. Just name it. Acknowledge it clearly in your mind.
Got it.
Step 2, spend a few moments consciously reframing it, using some of the ideas we've talked about. What lessons might be here? How was it part of your journey? What strengths could it help you build? Just explore those questions gently.
Okay, reframe.
Step 3, take one small, concrete step today related to that challenge. Doesn't have to solve everything. Just one tiny action that represents engaging with it constructively. Maybe it's making a phone call, doing 5 minutes of research, practicing 1 minute of mindful breathing when you feel overwhelmed by it. Just one thing.
Identify, reframe, act. Simple but doable.
And remember, progress isn't about perfection. Small, consistent efforts create change over time.
So the final thought then is, these problems, they aren't just random static on the line of life.
Perhaps not.
Yeah.
Perhaps they are deliberate invitations. Invitations to expand our capacity, to deepen our wisdom, to weave a richer life story.
And that idea of karma, cause and effect, we're not just victims of it.
No, our present choices, especially our choice of perspective and response, actively shape our future karma. By choosing to see challenges as opportunities, we are, in a sense, rewriting our karmic script.
We have agency.
We do. So the next time difficulty arises, maybe, just maybe, instead of dread, we can meet it with a flicker of curiosity. This isn't just an ending. This could be the beginning of a climb towards something greater, where the very things we feared become the steps leading us to our highest potential.
Problems as stepping stones to our greatest achievements. That's a powerful thought to end on.
Maybe a helpful perspective on the journey.